Yeah. Yes, sir.
Hey, what's going on, Guru?
Hey, what up, Troop?
Three Faces of Fantasy, although it's only two of us here today.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
we're going to go over some of these games. We're going to see how everybody's been doing. Um, Guru,
Yo.
how you making out today?
Ah man, so far so good. For the majority, it's looking like an automatic W. I still have at least 4 or 5 leagues that I still have to figure out what's gonna happen because I have my I still have my Philly cheese stack with Jay Hurts and AJ Brown and then I still have Dylan playing. I got Lazard playing. I have my Buffalo boys playing with Stephon and Josh Allen and Gabe Davis if he goes, and if he doesn't, I'm gonna pivot over to somebody else. But so yeah, a couple of them are still up in the air, but the majority of them is looking all right. It's looking good. What about you?
Well, not a bad week. I went about 50-50 today. It's got a lot of weird games today. A lot of
Man, a lot.
exactly. So we're gonna have to talk about a few of them.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it started off weird on Thursday.
Yeah, we're gonna start with that one
For sure. Let's
because
go.
I had I do a stack sometimes. I have Mahomes and Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
Um, also, I got a lot of Eckler, a lot of stock in Eckler, and a little stock in Juju. A little disappointed in that one.
Understandable.
But what do you think? What do you think about that first, the Thursday night game?
First and foremost, all I gotta say is Herbert is a beast. Like that dude is a real man. I mean, in one play he couldn't even run 2 yards, and the next play he come back and guns a needle handoff to the end zone. Man, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't
Well,
know. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Herbert is a pretty much a lock. I guess I had Mahomes in a few leagues, and I guess that's when you talk about fantasy reality. He's not going to throw 5 touchdowns every week, you know.
Yeah.
But right,
Oh man. Yo, I know we live. I don't know if you seeing what's happening. Arizona, Kyler Murray just threaded the needle to AJ Green in the end zone. And
uh,
wow. I mean, I know we live, but man, that's wild. How they got it quiet. He silenced that stadium, bro.
I
Man.
needed him to do something. I got him in a few leagues.
I have him on my bench. I got him as a backup in one league, but I got Josh Allen as the one. So
I have him
and
in. I have him in two. I have him in two leagues.
okay.
And he had me down earlier, but Kyler is one of those quarterbacks. Like he always seems to show up, at some point during the game. But
Yeah.
he's
Well,
he can have you real nervous.
yeah, I mean, and he don't even have his weapons. I can't wait till his toolbox gets filled again. It's like a carpenter showing up, and all he have is just one nail. So it's gonna be interesting. But anyway, I'm not bad. I didn't mean to pivot and shift off. We can get back to Thursday and what was supposed to be a shootout, and I don't know. It was just an ugly, weird, fun, exciting, crazy, and frantic game all in one.
Is is it me, or do Thursday night games tend to be that way? Is it just
So
me?
far, yeah, that's what it's looking like. No, you're right. Now, what's your as far as fantasy go? What's your opinion of Thursday night? Are you with Thursdays? You not with Thursdays? How do you feel about Thursday night games?
I don't particularly like playing people on Thursdays, but when you got Pat Mahomes and Kelsey, you have no choice. Uh,
Yeah,
right?
no, I feel you. Yeah, I don't know. It's something about it. Like with Thursdays, for me to play somebody on Thursday, they have to be like my tier one stud at that position, and only because, especially if they're coming off of only a couple days rest, and everybody gets the Tuesday off or the Monday off, and I don't know. I just feel like like I have to have a stud in there, which is kind of why I did not play Belair, Clyde Edwards, and kind of kicking myself. But hopefully AJ Dillon won't make me feel bad about that decision.
Yeah, I mean, I now just like you said, I don't mind. I have to play my starters, if it's
Right.
Thursday, but I did not have to play Juju, and I'm kicking myself for playing because I sat there,
Juju.
I was looking at it all day, and I'm like, should I play Juju? I mean, but what week before Juju had what 8 targets?
Yep. He was the target. He was the man. He was the focus of the. He was the focal point. It seemed he was even targeted, I believe, more than Kelsey.
Yeah, and that's
So it
that's a
makes
hard
sense.
that's a hard decision.
It makes
But
sense.
yeah, I can't say it was a bad decision because I probably would have done it one way or the other, but didn't work out. That one didn't work out. But it looks like I'm gonna win that game anyway. Actually, that's the game I'm
Oh,
playing against
Lord.
Mojo.
Yeah. Oh wow. So I can't wait for Tuesday's show then.
Right?
Yeah. What it's just weird though, that whole Kansas City offense, the way it's constructed right now, you would think it would look, I mean, well, we knew it was gonna look a little different or a lot different without the cheetah there. But then you have him gone, and then um even Robinson's gone, and then of course Hardman got hurt. So it kind of changed the whole complexity of the offensive structure. And it was just, to me, I don't know, it was ugly. Mahomes was on fire, but it was just ugly still. So, and yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of ugly games, today we had a few of
Like which one
them.
you thinking about that was ugliest?
Well, let me see. Ugliest game. I mean, let's put it like this. I won't say all. I guess what I'm really talking about is they really didn't turn out the way. Like you look at the. Look, I was looking at the Browns game.
Man.
I played the defense in a couple leagues.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I picked up Cleveland's defense in a couple leagues off waivers.
Uh,
And the general rule is you play the defense playing against the Jets. So, you know, shout out to the NY. We should play
right.
defense against them. And for whatever reason, this morning in two of those leagues, I pivoted to Tampa's defense because at first I wasn't going to play Tampa's defense. Well, actually, I played them in three leagues, but as far as Cleveland, I think I kept them in on one league. I kept them in on one league, but I also had Tyreek playing that league, so um, I should be all right. But yeah,
Well,
the New York Jets, it's they just gutted that one out. Like it was a gutsy game for them.
yeah. No, I mean they played a good game. 30-31. I mean they grinded it out. A couple rookies showed up.
Oh, big, yeah,
Wilson. I mean they
yeah. I know he got banged up, but he got back up in, so that
yeah.
worked out. And then
Even
Nick Chubb was a beast as usual. But Kareem Hunt was a little quiet today.
yes.
I know a lot of people expected a lot out of K Hunt. I have him in only two leagues, but I had him on the bench because of my rest of my backs. But yeah, he was a little bit quiet today, and not really sure. But I see Njoku found his hands today. He found some fingers.
Finally.
Yeah.
Well,
The
I
week
mean,
after I dropped him.
you know, and looking at that, how do you feel about? All right, we go on the second week. You drafted. When do you start? When do you start getting a little nervous about some of your draft picks? Is it too
Man.
early?
Nah, not too early. Well, it also depends on where you drafted them. So if you're talking about somebody that you drafted in the seventh, probably no, somebody like in the eighth, ninth, 10th, or later rounds, then nah, you're not worried about it too much because you drafted them either as your RB3, RB4, your wideout 4 or 5, or your tight end 2. So you're not really concerned about those. However, if it's one of your first 6, 7 rounds, and they're not producing, that means you drafted to rely on them. And if you're not able to rely on them right now, then that's when there's a little time to get nervous. So yeah.
How do you feel about CD Lamb?
I have him in one league, and I really didn't want to play him today. I didn't want to play him today, and I just wanted to put him on the bench and to see how it was going to work out with Cooper Rush. Uh, you know, I, that was my initial intention, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't pull the trigger. I should have because on my bench I had Devin Duvernay, but then again I also had Bateman in that league, so I didn't want to play two Raven receivers. So I kept CeeDee Lamb in the game, and you know it is what it is. He got what he got.
Well, he didn't have a terrible game. 75
Yeah.
yards, 7 receptions.
He didn't kill me. He's not gonna he won't kill you this week, but that's not round two performance. You know, depending on your format. But I believe I got him. Well, probably no. It might have been round three. I think it might have been 2 or 3. But yeah, so you know.
Yeah. And like you said, that's the thing. I mean, you're talking about those first 5, 6 rounds, 7 rounds. I have an issue with Pitts right now. I
You
don't
said
know.
the what?
I'm having an issue with Pitts.
Oh, definitely. As you asked that question, I was thinking about who were my biggest regrets, or who are my biggest draft regrets. Pitts is definitely on top of that list. I'm like, bro, come on, man. And then, I mean, mad respect to Drake London, but come on, Pitts. Like, you're supposed to be the focal point of that offense. You're supposed to be the Travis Kelsey who's going to bring London along, but it seems more like London is going to be bringing Pitts along. And that's not what you expected out of someone who was the tight end two for the last half of last season.
Yeah, third round pick. Like this year, you had to pick him up in the third round to get him, pretty much. So
But do
that's
you
why
see anything changing with that? Or what do you think?
I have to ride with it. I have to ride with it. I mean, it is. What am I going to do? I'm trying to. I can see if somebody's on the wire, but that's a long shot. Um,
So I know, I know it's probably too early to try to trade him because, nobody's really going to give you the value that he could be. But yeah, I guess you could work the waiver to see what else is out there. And unfortunately, just put him back on the bench. Although I think it's going to change. I'm trying to think. What's that? Atlanta Falcons next 5 games. Uh, Seahawks. They got Seahawks next week, and then after that they have the Browns. So that's 2. Tampa is next, and they're bad against tight ends. 49ers, that might be a challenge, and then the Cincinnati Bengals. They have at least over the next 5 games, and that's kind of how I look at my roster. The next 3 to 5 games, Pitts might be all right. He might be able to get back on track.
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, first last week he had 7 targets. Um, only had 2 receptions this week. I mean, I'm still looking at the target value,
Yeah, you
depending
hit
on
it.
what happens in the game. You know.
You hit it right on the head. That's where it's at. It's about the targets, not about anything. Because receivers will drop the ball. They're not. Receivers are not going to make every reception. They're going to drop the ball, and so you got to take that into consideration. So you absolutely hit it right on point. It's about the receptions and about the opportunities.
Yeah. So like we were saying, I I'm usually good until about week 3. If I get through week 3 and you're still dropping the ball, I get a little antsy. I may just put you on the bench. I'm not trying to get rid of you. I just want to see what's going to happen. Um, but it can, as long as I'm not losing,
Right, that part, yeah.
you know,
Well,
because if you're holding on to people and you 0-2 right now, it becomes a problem. You know.
I heard a stat today on during the game where they said I think it was teams that start off 0-2 do not make the playoffs or have never made the playoffs starting off 0-2. So again, there's a difference between fantasy and reality because you definitely can start off fantasy football league 0-4, 0-5 and turn the table. And like we pointed out before, in one of the previous shows, sometimes it's just a matter of you might have just faced a gauntlet of the most dominant players in your league, and so you may not see them again until later on. Well, you won't see them again until later on in the league in the season. So, therefore, it should work out for you. So don't give up. Never give up.
How about injuries? You have any? We got major injuries right now, and
Cam,
where do we pivot?
yeah, Alvin Kamara. I mean, it was not a long-term injury, but it definitely was an injury that affected me today. Um, who else? He was the that was prior to the games, and then of course Allen from the Chargers, Keenan Allen from the Chargers. It forced me to navigate my leagues differently or my teams differently. And then there was a couple in-game injuries as well today that wasn't great. I'm a Cortland Sutton owner. I don't have Jerry Judy in any leagues, but to the Jerry Judy owners, I know that was crushing. The Trey Lance injury was super crushing because that's your quarterback, and that's at the beginning of the game. And then I believe then of course those who lost Eli Mitchell last week had to pivot. But as far as myself, the main ones were Alvin Kamara and I'm trying to think that the main one was Alvin Kamara and Keenan Allen. Those are my main ones.
So, in terms of the Chargers, I don't know if I don't do you trust Mike Williams?
Depending on based on where you draft him, you kind of don't have a choice but to trust him at least for the next couple of weeks. I mean, he was serviceable this week. He did well. He got in the end zone.
I sometimes when you play so long, I've had some inconsistency issues with Mike Williams in the past, but he did step up a lot more last year.
Yeah.
And definitely with Keenan Allen now, he looked good Thursday.
I mean, he was the leading receiver, and he didn't even play the second half.
Yeah, he was the first target of the game. He was targeted early. He was targeted often. So I can't, you can't complain about that. I'll tell you. What so going into week 2, and I'm talking more of when we talk more of a season long. At this point, you have to start looking at season long strategies.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, young Phil's here.
So what?
So Phil jumped in. So,
Oh, okay. Step on in.
Yo.
Join the combo. Hey, what's good?
what's up, y'all?
Heard y'all was talking crazy last week though, huh?
Oh yeah. Hey, I was just matching the energy that was given.
Oh, you know what? After watching that, my energy back, baby. What's up? What y'all doing today, man? I hope y'all over there winning. You better not be losing. You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
You better not be losing right now.
I don't even know how to lose.
I've been listening, man. I made I made one major mistake today, man, and it was a quarterback mistake.
Trey Lance.
I should have benched Brady and put Tua on the field. Tua just put up 114 points in fantasy. Oh my God.
I
saw that.
I had to do that same decision. I had one of my leagues. I had Tua as my second, and Kirk Cousins. I had Kirk Cousins as my number one quarterback, and I had to put Kirk Cousins on the bench today to put Tua, only because just with the matchups, but definitely in that situation with Brady, I didn't even want to play him, and I don't even have Tua because of the whole problem with the O line. He doesn't have his toys. He wasn't gonna have Godwin.
He don't got that O line, man.
And so
he definitely
and
don't
no
got
O
that
line.
Yeah,
and
that O line
was banged up. So it was, and then Smith. So it was just too much. But yeah.
But you know the crazy thing, I had the best of both worlds today. I had the two biggest quarterbacks that put up both the most points. I had Lamar Jackson too.
Yeah, I know.
In my other league, yo. He put up like 110 points himself. And that way he did like 79-yard touchdown. Like,
yep.
That's crazy.
You played him in the other league, right?
Yeah, he's in the other league. Yeah, I had him starting in the other league. He's my main quarterback in the other league.
Yeah, most of Baltimore's score today was actually off of a long play. Started off with Duvernay with that 103-yard return, and then Lamar had his, and then Bateman had his, and so most of their, they just capitalized off of weaknesses in the defense secondary, and break a couple tackles, and it was a yak day. It was a yak day for them.
Mm-hmm. It was a couple of things y'all said. So as far as injuries, that's hurting me, probably be Godwin. As far as underplaying, like people that are underplaying and not really putting up.
Breaking. Hold on. Arizona defensive. Byron Murphy, fumble recovery, scoop and score. Arizona wins.
Arizona won.
What?
Right now.
Oh yeah, they said something about like it was 20 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know who he popped. Isaiah Simmons popped somebody. Murphy picked it up. Yep. Isaiah Simmons comes in. Oh, like a heat-seeking missile.
Steelers is looking bad.
Wow.
And Murphy just the scoop and the score. Wow. Yeah, okay. My bad, JP. Go ahead, bro.
No.
We live.
I know. Higgins, he's just not doing it. Week 1 and 2, he's not putting up points. He's not getting yards. He's not getting receptions the way it should be. He's just not doing a lot for me. He's somebody that I'm definitely considered on making a possible trade, but I want to wait. I don't want to be impulsive, and I feel like some people can be impulsive come week 1 and 2, especially if they take a loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think you should wait more like around a week 3 and 4, maybe 5 before you start pushing out and wanting to trade out like running backs and wide receivers. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay. Well, you talking about if you're trying to sell high? I mean, I guess it's one thing. If you, like we were saying earlier, it kind of depends on where you draft them. So Higgins was a high draft.
Yeah, he was.
But remember, he came off a concussion.
But I got Drake London. I got Drake, and look what he did today. You know what I'm saying? Like I should like, and I'm sitting there like, okay, well they both wide receivers, so I'm just gonna replace him next week. You know what I'm saying? Put Drake in, see how he does. You know what I'm saying? Let Higgins play on his bye week, if anything.
no doubt. So, what other resentments? Did you have any other draft capital resentments?
Uh,
The main one.
um, honestly, my team is pretty solid. I mean, the Higgins is probably Claypool. Definitely Claypool. Um, and Higgins. Those are really my main issues. I'm not gonna lie. I got rid of Robinson. I did get rid of
James.
Robinson. Uh,
Oh, Allen.
yeah, Allen. I got rid of Allen Robinson.
Oh,
Um,
wow. I thought you just said you didn't want to be emotional.
I mean,
Triggered.
Posa, but the
Right.
thing was, we talked about it in the one episode, and we already said like Josh or Allen Robinson is actually on your list for one
Right.
players that you would not draft.
So what
Am
you
I
get
right?
from him? Oh yeah, no doubt. Oh yeah, Allen Robinson. Yeah, he's definitely on my list of who I'll never draft. Cam
Right.
Akers, Montgomery. Yeah, those guys never.
You said a couple of Philly players too. You said
Yeah, I was
Sanders.
trying to be nice to that, but yeah, Miles Sanders. Miles Sanders is a definite big X.
The
That's a
big X
negative.
for you. That's all I got left to play in one of my leagues right now too is Miles Sanders, and I need him to turn up because I didn't put Tua in, and Brady only got me 30 points, and I'm still up by like 70 points, but I got one player left, and it's Sanders, and I got Elliott that has to kick. So
Well, did Brady get you what he should though?
no, Brady got 30 points.
But in that league, what was he like? What should he have got?
His projection was supposed to be 52.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and Brady normally, like even over the last 2 years, I've gotten very lucky and was able to get Brady as a quarterback every year, and he always he was putting up 100-point games, and you know what I'm saying, like 90, 80s. He's always over exceeded his projections. But just like we said, projections are not always correct. I mean, look at it; they projected him, I think, at 40 something, no 50 something, and he only put up 30. So. I took a big L this week with that quarterback and not
Well,
using two.
what was the thought process with that? Because Brady wasn't going to have the O-line banged up. He wasn't going to have Julio
And
and them.
you know what? I think that I wasn't paying attention to like the conversation that we had last week as far as like the Tampa Bay O-line.
Yeah.
And him not really having a lot of big options to really throw to. And I just felt comfortable leaving him in just as he's always gonna be my number one. But over the last 2 weeks of watching Tua from last week's game to this week's game, I mean the Dolphins is 2-0. Nobody can talk crap about them, and they had two hell of a games. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he put up 28 points alone in the fourth quarter. I've never seen a quarterback do that except for Brady. So when I see Tua putting up 28 points, numbers like Brady's, I'm like, okay, well, let me try one more week with Brady, and possibly by week 4, I might be starting Tua if he has a good, solid third week. You know what I'm saying? It's a possibility. Yeah. Because even in week 1, he put up 60, I think almost 70 points in week 1. You know what I'm saying? His projections are way lower than what he's putting up. Way lower than that.
Yeah, because Tua, he was a rookie last year,
right?
So he has a lot more weapons this year. But I mean, I'll tell you one thing we were saying earlier. That Tampa Bay, that was a weird game. That was an ugly game.
Yeah, it was, man.
As a Buck fan, it was ugly.
Yeah, it was an ugly game.
It got nice because of the
I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I had Tampa's defense as many places as I could. Especially when I knew Kamara was going to be out, I switched out Buffalo's defense and put Tampa's defense, and I switched out Cincinnati and Cleveland's defense to put Tampa's defense in.
Well, glad you did Cincinnati because they 2-0 or 0-2 now. Burrow just lost, so
yeah, I know. Yeah. But I figured Dallas had a bad O-line. Tampa got a bad O-line. But then on top, I'm sorry, not Dallas. New Orleans had some injuries, but also when they said Kamara wasn't playing, and when it was reported that Jameis had the back issues, I was just like, okay, this is what's going to happen.
Right.
them in, and the boys came. They played it out.
I'm not gonna lie, Dallas defense looked amazing, especially in the fourth quarter. And I can't believe I'm even saying that as a Philly fan, but they actually really.
We are recording, right? True.
They were shutting them down. They couldn't let them get past.
Yeah, it's recording. It's
All
recording.
right, cool. Just wanted to make sure.
I said it.
But you know what? They were a defense that I did draft though. They were, because I expect a lot out of them.
They got Diggs on them.
I'm in a few IDP leagues, and you got Diggs, Michael Parsons.
Yeah, Diggs are nice.
Yeah. So let me see.
Week 3, man. What's y'all? So who y'all predicting for the win tonight? Green Bay or who you going with?
That's
real football.
You mean tonight?
Yeah, the tonight game.
Are you talking about real football? Okay.
Yeah, real football. I just want to let y'all know I am trashing my uncle right now too.
Trashing. Yeah, we saw that he tapped in via text.
And I ain't even look. Derrick Henry ain't even play yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's why he didn't come on today.
No, he called me. He was like, nephew, you got it. It's over. I was like, I know, man. But he made a mistake. Bateman, man, he had Bateman on the bench. Bateman had a good game today.
But versus
he had Bateman over Higgins. I would have put Bateman in.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have, only because of the concussion.
It wouldn't have made a difference though, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, the concussion,
yeah. But as far as tonight, I got Green Bay. Mr. Mr. RELAX. Lets everybody know that he owns Chicago, and he does. Scoreboard indicates that.
Right.
I think last week, he was beyond upset and frustrated. So they're going to figure out a way to make it work. And he gets Lazard back tonight, so that helps to spread the offense a little bit. And I'm expecting some nice things out of Robert Tonyan. He had to get back.
Lazard's going to be efficient.
I think Lazard's going to be effective enough to help spread the. Well, the main thing is for him to be able to spread the offense, because last week, the defense didn't really have to worry about it. They were able to put 8 in the box and just attack Dillon and Aaron Jones when it came out the backfield as best as they could, even though they're studs. But now they're going to have to pay attention to Lazard. They're not going to have to worry about grandpas on the side.
What's going on with Chicago? Is there any light at the end of the tunnel?
I will say this though. I learned some history about Chicago. Chicago is the only team that has the most touchdowns out of all teams in the NFL.
Wow. That
is a weird record to have, though.
It's probably been there. It's probably been their record for a while because they haven't been scoring lately. So
yeah.
With Chicago, I don't know. You know how my feelings are about David Montgomery. That's why I have Herbert on a lot of my rosters. I'm
we talked about that last week too. Herbert,
yeah. I'm disappointed in Mooney, and I'm disappointed in Cole, but I still think they're going to get it together. Not the team offensively, but just those 3 fantasy players. Cole, commit.
I think they're still trying to learn how to work together too. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of these teams
they had last year. They don't have any new offensive pieces. Herbert was, they had the same guys from last year.
I thought they had a new something.
Oh, coach.
Yeah, the coach.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that makes a big difference when you so used to one coach. That's like getting Phil Jackson for 10 years, and then you get what's the guy for the Celtics? You know what I'm saying? Right. So and you so used to Phil Jackson. You know what I'm saying? But right. It takes time to adapt. Just like getting traded to a new team, and rookies coming in and all that. But the Bears.
I still have high hopes for Mooney.
Me too.
I don't know why. And last year he looked good. who else are you going to throw the ball to? It's just at this point you got to be able to throw the ball.
Apparently, Pettis. Apparently, he throwing it to Pettis. Yeah.
Oh man.
I mean, I didn't. He was, he wasn't a high draft pick. So, but I was looking at him as one of those sleepers, that end up being a number one by the end of the year. And I think towards probably mid-season or hopefully tonight. I mean, I want to see what he does. We'll
Right.
see.
Right.
Well, one sleeper that I had that's paid off so far is pivoting over to Detroit is Mr. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I had last year I picked him up off waivers in about 3 leagues, and he helped me win all 3 of those leagues.
Wow.
It's like a diamond in the rough. And so this year, I know his draft capital was low, but for me, I had him high because I know what he did for me last year, and I know that Jameson Williams is not there yet. So I was like, you know what, he's gonna be a stud. He's gonna be a stud. So, but today I did not. I had him in one, and I did not have him in another one, and it hurt.
That was
I mean,
good
but then again, the other ones were I have Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, and Brandon Cooks. So I could have put him in over Cooks, but I really thought Cooks was going. Well, I mean, Cooks had a good game, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, man, Detroit, they're no longer a laughing stock.
Definitely not. No, well, it was laughing stock last week when I said something about the Lions.
You should trade
about the Lions. She was laughing about it.
Yeah, I forgot what it was.
You need to trade me Swift.
No.
Hey, everybody, wait, don't
weapon.
just say no quickly. Everybody has a price. Everybody has a price.
Look,
It just depends on what their price is.
he's top 4. We say top 4, right? Top 5? I know he's at least top 5.
In the past 2 weeks, yes.
It's top 4. I know he's. I mean, Eckler, obviously, but it's one between the 5th and the 4th. But
you don't think Swift top 5 running back?
Oh no, I do. I just don't. I don't think Eckler is.
No, but he's listed as he's listed as the top 4 running back, I believe.
Yeah, that's what he's listed as. But
he's not playing like that, right? I get you.
Well, let me ask you this: this is a question we were kicking around. If you were to do a redraft today, as of today, who would your top 5 backs be?
If I would do a redraft today, obviously that's hard to say because it depends on your draft position too, and
no, just like your first. So let's say you had the,
top 3,
like just the first round. Well,
first round.
Who would you want to pick
Jonathan
first?
Taylor.
Number 2.
There's no question about that. I want Jonathan Taylor as my first. I can tell you, I do have.
But then who would you go 2 to 5?
I have 3 of the top running backs right now. I do have Derrick Henry. I have Swift, and who else I have? I have one more other player. I gotta remember who it is though. But Henry, he's my go-to guy. I'm gonna be honest with you. He is my go-to guy. So to be honest with you, in the first, if I had first, second round pick, it would be between Derrick Henry and Jonathan Taylor.
And then what about the other 3?
Swift. Well, it's kind of hard because now next year it'll be a different story because I might switch it out depending on how Swift.
Not next year. This year, right now. If we were going to do a draft, if we were going to create a new league, and we were like, all right, we're going to draft on Tuesday, on Wednesday. Who would your top 5 backs be?
Top 5 would be Jonathan, Derrick, Hill, Swift.
Hill. You talking about Tyreek? No, I'm talking about backs, running backs.
Oh, backs. Oh,
Yeah.
damn, what's his name for that played for Pittsburgh?
Najee?
Harris.
Yeah, but he's out though. But he's nice, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of hard because Najee Harris is nice though. I'm not gonna lie, man. But it's kind of hard to say that now because he got a crappy quarterback.
What about you, True? What about you, Jay? Who would be your top 5 if we had a redraft right now, Jay? Who would you get, True?
Backs.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, it's week 2.
Right.
I think some of the main ones I would put Swift a little higher. I was high on him anyway from the last couple weeks and from last year.
Mhm.
I just I was drafting early in almost all my leagues, so I wasn't able to get him. And the one time he did come through, I picked Pitts up. I'm mad about that. But
sorry to hear that. Yeah.
no, I would still stick with the top 4. I mean, McCaffrey looked good today.
Yeah.
I mean, they're still trying to. They're still. I won't say he looked good. I mean, the team didn't look all that good. But as far as his touches, nobody. Look, fantasy reality. Nobody's gonna have a great game every week. But are you getting the touches? Are you getting the usage? That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
So Eckler is still high.
Yep.
Jonathan Taylor, Eckler, McCaffrey, Derrick Henry.
Yep.
There's a couple guys maybe that were going in the 5th, 6th round. I would move up.
Who?
And I think that's really the issues. Your James Robinsons.
Yeah, definitely. No, you're right. I don't know. Just the injury prone of Swift just scares me. Even like today, we didn't even know he was going to play today. The way they were talking yesterday. Najee, I just can't. I don't know. Najee's one of the players that I have absolutely no stock in, and it just turned out that way. But I just can't. I can't rock with him. I'm still real big on Dalvin Cook, and then of course, you got Jonathan Taylor and CMC. But Austin Eckler, I don't know. Something about that offense is just making me nervous with his usage. And they bring in these other guys, and Sony Michel's carrying the ball at the goal line, and I'm like, but that's an Austin Eckler's opportunity. And so I don't know. Sometimes when you have too many weapons, then it limits obviously the percentage of targets for your respective
Very true.
pass catching back. That's why I'm real big on Dalvin Cook. Because outside of here, but you got JJ, you got Jay Jefferson, and then who else?
I got Cook also.
Yeah, Cook was my number 3 back when I was ranking them.
Really?
I had
number
him
3.
Ahead of Derrick. Yep.
Ahead of who?
I had him ahead of Derrick Henry because Derrick Henry doesn't catch passes. So
who after Cook then?
Oh, after Cook?
Yeah.
PPR.
I had Mixon.
Mixon?
Yep. I had Taylor, CMC, Cook, Mixon. Then I came back to Derrick Henry.
Okay.
Him and Austin Eckler. But again, the main thing with Henry was that he doesn't catch the pass. He doesn't catch out the backfield. So therefore, in the PPR format, all you get is what's on the ground. And we have proven last year he proved that he's finally human. And then on the flip side, Austin Eckler has just too many. They were speaking too highly of Spiller at the time, and so I was a little concerned. Whereas Cook, you got Madison there, and about 12 teams have already reached out to Minnesota to try to acquire Alexander Madison from them. But but they've worked together, so I know how Cook and Madison work in tandem. That's why I wasn't worried about that. Even with Aaron Jones. You got AJ Dillon there. So, but we've seen how they work in tandem already. So that's why.
Okay, it's fair.
Eckler. They were talking before the season started that they were going to try to limit his touches.
Yes. For what reason?
Because they want to try to. save him from getting, he's getting a little older. They don't want him to get hurt. And
Right.
it seems like they're doing that.
Yeah, and
At
they
least,
also see what's happening to these other backs. I think that injury to Derrick Henry really opened up a lot of eyes because he was like the last man standing that had never got hurt. And
Yeah.
after that happened, he's like, you know what? While we're picking up these players playing fantasy football, but you got to remember these billionaires are paying millions to these millionaires, and they have to protect their investments at all times. So yeah, if I was a billionaire, I wouldn't be dragging them out there every play either.
Very true.
you
So
guys
we
look
got
at
tomorrow night.
tomorrow.
Well, I know you got.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I got.
I think it's going to be a good game. But of course, I got Philly. Of course, I had Philly.
He want to say it so bad. He said he. I know.
I don't even know. Only game I know tomorrow is Buffalo. Buffalo playing Tennessee. Yeah, that's the only game I'm aware of that's happening tomorrow.
Who you got? Who you got?
Let me see.
Philly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mr. Cook. I'm gonna go with Mr. Cook. I think it's gonna be realistically though, I think Philly's gonna pull it out. But that first quarter is gonna be very important to see how they come out.
Yes.
I mean, you have Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook on one end, and on the other side, you got Jay Hurts and AJ Brown. And I mean, it's gonna be a nice battle. It's gonna be a nice battle. You got two prolific receivers, and you have two prolific running backs, Dalvin Cook and Jalen Hurts.
Justin Jefferson was talking. He was talking a little bit of trash.
Really?
Yeah, he was saying he didn't. He was glad he wasn't drafted by Philly.
What?
Oh, nah, I missed that.
When he say this?
A couple days ago.
Oh,
yeah, he said he was glad he wasn't drafted by Philly.
So it's gonna be interesting then.
Yeah, he might try to go off. They're gonna have to talk.
Who's the number one corner in Philly?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, who gonna be blocking them?
Yeah, because whoever's gonna be on them, it's gonna be maybe we can get another Mike Evans versus Lattimore that we had today. Because that was wild.
It'll probably end up like that, right? The game is in Minnesota, right?
Yeah, the game's in Minnesota.
Wow.
Yeah. Philly's on the road, I think, for what they was on the road last week too, right? Yeah, we was on the road last week.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't played a home game yet, so
sound like disrespect to me.
It is disrespect. It is disrespect. But
it's gonna be a good game. We're coming through with double digits tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Well, I don't know who can really cover Justin Jefferson. I mean, he's gonna get his. He's gonna get something.
You just gotta touch him at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
Touch him up within the first 5. Touch him up. Have your safety come over and play over top on him. And I'm not gonna let him beat me. You're gonna have to beat me elsewhere.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to go wide out to O or something. I'm not, or it might be a big Adam Thielen day, but I'm not. If I know what your number one weapon is, I'm gonna have to pull a Bill Belichick and try to take out that number one weapon. If it works for him, it works for others.
Force you to beat me with everybody else, right?
Yep.
Well,
seeing what he did today to the Steelers.
We have Philly. That's tomorrow. And then I guess Buffalo, we already know. Well, I guess we don't really know. You got Buffalo and you got Derrick Henry. And I just said Buffalo because there's too many weapons. So you got Buffalo versus Derrick Henry. Does Mr. Henry stand a chance on scoring? Like, can he get to 100 yards tomorrow?
Can he? You can.
Or Willie, I should
They got a
say.
hell of a defense, man. I ain't gonna lie, they got a hell of a defense. As
Yeah,
far
but
as 100
Gerald
yards,
Henderson just
I
ran
can
on
see
them.
him doing 100 yards. I can definitely see him doing 100 yards. That's I don't got a question about that. But he's going against a tough defense, though. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm trying to remember. How many rushing yards did Gerald
Buffalo is
Henderson
serious.
have in week 1?
Yeah, they is, bro. Like they really is serious, like for real.
Buffalo is definitely serious.
Who's Henry's second?
Nobody.
There's no second.
No.
Of course, there's a second. Who's the second for Henry?
The Henry's backup.
Number 2, Hilliard.
Yeah.
He had a good game last week.
He had touchdowns, right? 2, right?
He had
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. I think he had 2 goal line touchdowns.
All right. So I know what's gonna happen. They're gonna beat up on Henry as much as they can to get him out the game.
Oh, yeah, just gotta drop 8 in the box. And dare you to beat me with T. Burks or Robert Woods. Buffalo's front 7 is so fierce. And then their back 4 is equally fierce. So I don't see where the loophole. I don't see where the leak's gonna be in the defense.
Well, I ain't picking Buffalo. So I'm just telling you, I'm being honest. What's y'all pick?
It'll be some random scores from Tennessee. I don't know. They're gonna have to come with a good game plan. Like you said, it's Buffalo. Probably the best defense in the league or close to it.
Yeah,
definitely top 5.
definitely. Yeah, definitely top 5.
I think Buffalo's going to win the game. I mean, they also have more firepower on the offensive side. I think Buffalo's going to win, but there may be some room for somebody, for maybe Burks or somebody. Somebody's going to break. Somebody's going to do something on Tennessee. You hope, but I don't see him winning the game.
Okay.
Definitely.
And if Tennessee lose, they're 0-2, right? They lost last week.
I believe so.
Yeah, I believe they lost last week. So, and I heard you saying earlier, you said most teams that are 0-2 normally do not make the playoffs.
None of them. Yeah,
all right, so that means Cincinnati Bengals is probably not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think they're going to break them.
You don't think Burrow come back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. And the reason, I believe so because I didn't get to see the whole thing, but didn't Joe Mixon get banged up today too?
Yep.
Yeah. So, and the game did come down to the end. It came down to the last field goal. So, keeping in mind that Higgins didn't practice at all. Yeah, just got a concussion protocol. And I think he practiced a little bit limited on Friday, but he just got a concussion protocol. And then Mixon went out. And so I still think that they're going to do fine. Joe, but remember, they started slow last year. It wasn't 0-2, but it wasn't pretty either.
Right. So what would that mean for the Titans? And you got a weapon like Henry. And if you lose this game tomorrow, I mean, you see them pulling it through the rest of the season for the Titans to even come close to making it the playoffs?
Nope. I see me trading away Derrick Henry around week 8 or 9 because I see them shutting him down around week 12 or 13. Or
that's
no, 14, 15.
That's a biased opinion.
And somebody's definitely going to take that trade. Well,
who's going to trade Henry?
Trade him away? Everybody has a price, bro. Everybody has a price.
What you trying to make an offer? You sound like you're making an offer. That's the time you said that to me.
Nah.
Like you sound like you need somebody off one of my teams or something, man.
I've seen your team and I'm good.
Oh.
I'm good right now.
Oh.
I mean, I saw your team last week. Up close and personal.
Week 1, man.
Yeah.
Week 1. Let the men find their groove, man. Come on. You gotta let the field hit you at least once. Like,
I tell you though, JP, you got some decent teams. I mean, I remember from the first year you started, your team's good. You did some good drafting this year.
You know why I get lucky? Because I always get an early draft pick. Every year.
I know that.
You like the early draft pick?
I get first or second every year, man, and it's that's automatically picked. But for some reason, I get lucky. I get first and second every year. So the first thing I'm doing is grabbing the biggest running back.
Yeah, I don't really like the first pick, the early picks. I don't
like
to have to wait.
Well, towards the end, you pick more. You pick quicker, when you get that first and second too. You do.
But no, I'm just talking about the talent that's usually like the dead zone is usually that second and third. So
right.
I prefer to be closer to the end of the first round, not at the end, but like that's if it's a 12 team, at least eight or so, 8 or 9, because a lot of talent. It's a lot of talent, and
it's a lot of talent, but then you missing out on a lot of 8 players before you though, that are the number one top players. Like
all right, the number one player, Jonathan Taylor. Number 2, CMC, going off of last week because everybody hasn't played yet. Number 3 was Austin Eckler or Derrick Henry, depending on how you look at it. Dalvin Cook. So the first 5 last week didn't really produce. Not to expectations, at least.
Right.
Jonathan Taylor did.
No, he snapped last week. Yeah, he snapped last week. He definitely snapped last week.
I expected more out of number 1. But
God, what do you want this man to do? Put up like 400 yards?
He had like 160 yards.
Yeah, 164 yards.
I'm just messing with you.
Well, hey, fellas, listen. It is almost 8:30. The game's coming on.
Oh, it's on already.
It's on. I'm watching.
On already.
AJ Dillon just ran.
He did. All right, I'm about to get to the game. Listen, 3 Faces of Fantasy. You can find us here Tuesday 7:30, Sunday 7:30. Get with you next week. All right.
Peace.
Yo.
Peace.